Police updating reporters now on Adamson's situation. I'm watching on CP24. Last night, Davila gave police powers under Health Protection and Promotion Act to seize the property, and they changed locks. Since when does a bureaucrat press gang the police into her personal service? And since when do police go along with that? And since when do police say, yeah, we'll send 100 men and 4 horses and 50 cars?
Where's he going?
Hello everybody, it's Steve Katsikaris, your Norland, Coboconk, Minden community watchdog. Just doing a video here on the Rebel media story about Adam's BBQ down in the Toronto area. It's definitely been making a lot of hits on YouTube, and I thought I'd take the time to go over the anti-terrorist laws with you to show that that's what the government is doing. Bill C-14 was pushed by Justin Trudeau for COVID-19. If you take a look in Bill C-14, you'll see that the Emergencies Act was never used. And the reason why for that is that by using the Emergencies Act, the Charter on Rights and Freedoms were in the way. By not imposing the Emergencies Act, Trudeau can use the anti-terrorist laws, and I'm going to show you exactly where health and safety or political views can get you labeled as a terrorist. And if this Adam guy, if he gets brought before a judge, the judge doesn't have to worry about the Emergencies Act because it's simply not there. It's not in C-14. Trudeau hasn't declared an official emergency in Canada by not using the Emergencies Act. Now he's using C-36. And if you go through this little video here with me, you will see exactly where within the law. And get a copy for yourself. It's online. It's the Anti-Terrorist Laws, Bill C-36. That's when they can take away your rights. It also affects the Human Rights Act too. So you're not even a Canadian citizen. So sit back, enjoy the video, and I'll go through the law with you here.
Okay, going to go through Bill C-36 and show you folks at home what exactly is going on here, especially down at the barbecue place there in Toronto, what happened there the other day. And we're going to see exactly what's going on inside the anti-terrorist laws under Bill C-36 to show you exactly how the police and the government are doing this, is by declaring this business owner a terrorist. And you're going to say, that's crazy. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way they've written the law in Bill C-36, which I'm going to show you here on the screen right now. And it's the interpretation of law that makes it dangerous. And if you take a look now at the top of the screen here, you'll see recommendation. And if you go through the first paragraph, it says, Her Excellency, the Governor-General recommends to the House of Commons the appropriation of public revenue under the circumstances in the manner and for the purposes set out in a measure entitled an act to amend the Criminal Code, the Official Secrets Act, that's the big one. That's when they can do all these things in the courthouse in secret and you don't get full disclosure or know exactly what laws they're using against you. The Canadian Evidence Act, the Proceeds of Crime Money Laundering Act, and other acts, and to enact measures respecting the registration of charities in order to combat terrorism. All right, now this barbecue guy we all know is not a terrorist, but this is the abuse of power here by using this Bill C-36 in this way. And you're going to say, how in the heck can that be? Well, we're going to go down here into the next screen here, and we're going to take a look at the definition of terrorism. And you'll see Part 2, Decimal 1, 8301. And as you start to read through this, you will see that it looks pretty legitimate on the surface first. You know, like what a real terrorist is. And we all know what a real one is. You know, one's a hijack aircraft. If you take a look at terrorist activity here, hijacking, seizure of aircraft, safety of civil aviation, crime against internationally protected persons. Like, this is really obvious stuff. Hostage taking, physical protection of nuclear material. But when I switch over now, when we keep going through this here, you'll see how it's all looking pretty legitimate here, like unlawful acts against the safety of fixed platforms, And if you take a look here at B, going down to B here, this is the get you everywhere clause. An act or a mission in or outside Canada. And this is where they got your brain old thinking that it's terrorists, like the legitimate stuff you see in A. But this is where they get you in B. That is committed. And where they got this guy here in B would be number 2, C. So if you go down to number 2 here, you'll see C, causes a serious risk to the health or safety of the public or any segment of the public. So you can see how they can make him a terrorist. They got part A with all the legitimate terrorist stuff. Then part B is just basically causes a serious risk to the health and safety of the public. And what's that right now, folks? COVID-19. Or a segment of the population. And we can all tell right now that there's some people that are pro-vaccine, pro-mandatory mask, and there's another camp that's anti-vaccine or non-wearing the mask, right? Not wearing the mask or voluntarily wearing the mask. So you can see how the government, the narrative, says that COVID-19 is a real serious health risk to the people of Canada. And now with the Official Secrets Act, that's what I mentioned in the last slide there, that it can all be done in secret. So the court doesn't acknowledge to the accused that they're using the Terrorist Act on them. That's where they bring in the Health Act and the Quarantine Act, which is not in place right now under Bill C-14, by the way. But they'll play that game. And it's written in Canadian law. If they pull the wool over your eyes in the courthouse and you don't quote the law, they can get away with it. And that's the judges, the prosecutors, everybody. And where that's going to happen is going to be in the investigation hearing. And if you take a look here, it's 8328. All right. And if you just take a look there, it's called the investigation hearing. Now you know that Adam, Mr. Barbecue guy there in Toronto, he's going to have to go to court for all these infractions. Plus, he's been arrested now. He's been thrown in jail. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to put a hoax prosecution against him, saying that he violated the Health Act, but really he hasn't been charged of any crime. That's what makes it all weird here. He needs a Form 10 for that. But they're going to do a hoax prosecution under the Bill C-36, an investigation hearing. All right. And if you take a look at the next slide, you'll see 8313, which is the seizure and restraint of property. Remember how they took over his building there with the SWAT team and the horses and put new locks on? That's 8313 of Bill C-36, the anti-terrorist laws. So you don't have to be a real terrorist. That's part of Bill C-36, as I mentioned. But just basically risking the health and safety of the public or a segment of the public and using COVID-19 as an excuse, they can declare this guy a terrorist and throw his rights away. All right? And if you take a look here, after he goes through that hoax prosecution, which will be an investigation hearing, he probably won't be allowed to take the stand and swear under oath either. That's another thing when he goes to trial. So he should definitely not plead guilty, go to trial, and I bet you any money they won't put him on the stand and make him go under oath and question him, because the Charter and Rights and Freedoms are in the way. That's why they're going to make it a bogus hearing. It's just basically a Nazi show trial. So once he's done that, they're going to put him on a reconnaissance with conditions, meaning he can't go back to the property, he's not allowed to go into his building, he's not allowed to reopen his business. And where do they do all that? Bingo, under reconnaissance with conditions. And basically reconnaissance is basically bail conditions, restrictions on you. And they can do anything they want as long as they can declare you a terrorist by you're jeopardizing the health and safety of the public. All right. And what happens if he says, forget him, going back in there again? They can throw him in jail for 12 months. That's right, 12 months if he decides not to go into his reconnaissance. And it's number 8, you'll see here, where they can put a reconnaissance on him for 12 months. On number 8A, does not exceed 12 months. And number 9, if Adam fails to listen to the court, it says 12 months, he'll be thrown into jail. All right. So prison term for not exceeding 12 months. And right now, what's he facing? A $100,000 fine and 12 months in jail. So that shows you the contrast, or even the punishment's the same. So a lot of people just need to understand what's going on here is that Bill C-36, the anti-terrorist laws, are being abused because it's not supposed to be used on Canadian citizens to stomp on their views. It's supposed to stop terrorists. And you can see when they put this in the law, they actually put real terrorism stuff inside Bill C-36 to make it legit, but then put in Part B where they can get you for having a different opinion and declare you a terrorist, which is just totally wrong. Anyways, I think that's the rundown.
There you go, folks. I just finished the law there for you. You can see the anti-terrorist laws are very vaguely written, but they are in place right now. There's no timeline on this. I believe the Emergencies Act, they have to meet back every number of days to review it, and Parliament needs to do it, not in front of Trudeau's house in front of Sussex Drive there. So maybe we can take a look at that terrorist law bill with your friends and family and see the seriousness of it. Also, Bill C-51 is also used as well to put you in a what they call a summary trial. That's when you're already guilty. So that's why I said when I was reading out the law there that Adam's probably not going to be able to take the stand when he goes to court, and they're going to put bail conditions on him or reconnaissance, which could last up to 12 months. He won't be able to go back to his shop, and if he goes back to his shop, he'll be put back in jail. He'll be put back in jail for 12 months under Bill C-36, the anti-terrorist law. So spread this video around, and once again, I'm Steve Katsikaris, your Norland, Coboconk, Minden community watchdog, always watching out for the taxpayer and the environment. So long, everybody, and stay tuned for my next video.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.